Good afternoon and welcome back to the workbench. So here's a follow-up video about the Q-1760 power supply, which I've repaired, but I want to modify the fan control circuit so it works a bit differently to how it does by default. And I kind of went over the circuit briefly in the previous video, but didn't really go into detail of how to change anything about it. So I'm going to do that here, and I thought I'd make a separate video for this because it was too long to fit in the other one, and I think this is worth doing separately anyway because that was about the repair and this is about the modification. So anyway, if we go to the schematic here, it makes a bit more sense if you look at a redrawn version here in KiCad, which I've got, and it looks a bit more sensible when you see it this way. So you can kind of clearly see that it's basically just a Zener shunt regulator with a pass transistor attached to it. And we have this rail up here, 25 or 44 volt rail. It depends on what the voltage tap of the transformer is switched in at the time. Obviously this is the unloaded voltage, so when you're actually drawing current from the supply these voltages will drop, but unloaded they're 25 and 44. Anyway, the fan here is obviously a 12 volt fan, so we can't give it 25 or 44 because it would just blow up. So we have to regulate the voltage somehow, and a simple way to do that is with a Zener and a pass transistor. So that's what this is. If we ignore this switch here for the moment, which is the thermal cutout on the heatsink, we have, voltage comes in here, goes to the collector of the transistor. It's actually a Darlington, and it comes down here through this resistor and flows into this Zener diode. Now I think this is 13 volts, but on testing it might actually be something higher than that. Looking at the schematic here, I'm not sure if this says 13 or 15. It might actually be 15. It's really hard to tell, the quality is not very good. But let's just say it's 13, whatever, it doesn't really matter. The point is that, resistor in series with this, we've basically got a Zener shunt regulator at this part of the circuit. So this voltage will come in, and it will be current limited by this resistor, and then it will be clamped to whatever voltage this Zener is. Let's say it's 13 volts. So then the voltage on the base of this transistor, which is a high gain transistor because it's a Darlington, will have 13 volts on it. And the emitter over here follows this voltage basically, but with a 0.7 volt drop, or whatever it is. Might be different depending on the transistor, but it has a voltage drop here, and but this will follow this voltage of what this is, minus the drop across the transistor. So this is set to 13 volts. This will be 13 minus whatever this voltage drop is, and that will be fed to the load. In this case it's a fan. And we have like a back EMF suppression diode and maybe a decoupling capacitor or high frequency suppression capacitor, just to clean up the noise that comes out of the motor for the fan. So this will give this around 12 volts, no matter whether this is 25 or 44, because this is regulating based on the Zener diode here. Now that's when the fan's running, but the fan is not normally running because it waits for the temperature cutout to reach 60 degrees. I assume 60. Again, it's hard to tell. It could be 50 or 60. It could even be 80. I think it's 60, going by things I've seen on the internet. But 60 is a reasonable value. But whatever it is, again, it's not really relevant. The point is, it's a normally closed contact, and so what that means is that this voltage will actually be normally pulled directly to ground instead of being clamped by the Zener. So the Zener will effectively be shorted out by this switch, and this point here will actually be 0 volts, and so the transistor will be off and the fan will be off as well because the transistor won't be getting any base current. It's basically all going to ground through this resistor and this switch. And the idea, of course, when this reaches its predetermined temperature of 60 or whatever it is, this will open, and then of course this voltage will rise to the point that the Zener voltage is. The transistor will turn on, it will output the power to the fan, and the fan will start spinning, and that will start cooling down the heatsink. Once the heatsink goes below a certain value, this will turn off and go back to pulling this down. It will turn the fan off. These switches often have a kind of hysteresis point, so they often have to cool down significantly below the trigger point before they turn back off. And that means that the thing won't just oscillate on and off around that 60 degrees, because that would be not very useful. So of course what I want to do is not have the fan just off all the time and only turn on when the thing gets really hot. I'd rather have the fan running all the time, just not at full speed. So this is pretty simple to achieve that. We basically just got to change the Zener diode for a different one. However, if we change this Zener diode, say we change it to, say we change it to 5 volt Zener, and we get, you know, about 5 volts out to the fan, then that's all we're going to get. The fan will never get more than 5 volts, it will never run at full speed, and that's not really what we want. So we want a way to have sort of like two speeds. We want like a low speed and a high speed, and we also have to take into account the fact that the fan is going to have a minimum voltage to turn on. Now I don't know what that is because it doesn't particularly specify, but if I go to the datasheet for the fan, which here is by Orion Fans, it's the OD8025 series, and we've got the 12 volt version, so that's OD8025-12 HSS, and it says the operating range is 8 to 13.8 volts, so it'll run on that voltage range. They don't seem to list a start voltage, but we can assume that it's probably 8 volts. Often fans like this will start at a higher voltage but may continue running at a lower voltage if they are turned down after they start. But what that does mean, though, if we gave this, say, 5 volts from the circuit, it probably wouldn't start at 5 volts, although it may run at 5 volts once it's going, if you turn that down afterwards. But again, this data sheet doesn't actually specify if this is a start voltage or minimum voltage or what. So we can only kind of assume that it'll have to start at least 8. And if we tried to give it 5, it may not start at all. And you could experiment with that, of course, and that's going to vary depending on the fan, the manufacturer, you know, the voltage, everything. But that's not really the point here. The point is we just want to make it run a bit slower. So let's assume that we want 8 volts. Instead of 12 or whatever. So that would mean we'd need a Zener diode here that's, you know, 8 volts plus the drop of the transistor. Let's say it's, you know, 0.7, 1 volt, whatever. So we need like a 9 volt or so Zener at this point. But again, if we replace this one with a 10 volt or a 9 volt, we're not going to get the full speed out of it at all. But if we add another diode in series with this switch, we can actually have 2 speeds, and that's what I'm going to do with this. The way I want to modify the circuit is like this. We would have a 9 volt or 10 volt or something Zener in series with this switch, meaning that this voltage at this point, when the switch is off, will be at 9 volts or so, and then when the switch turns on and opens, it will send power to this one instead, and then the voltage will go up. So I think it's a really simple way to modify the circuit. You're basically just switching out 2 different Zeners in the regulator circuit, and of course, because this one is a lower voltage than this one, it doesn't matter that they're in parallel. This one will take priority as long as it's switched in with the thermal cutout. Now the other circuit on the other power supply, this one here, is a bit more complicated, and it has an normally open thermostat, and then that goes sends a signal to a comparator which has some resistors and sends it to another half of the comparator, and then that drives a transistor. So I'm not entirely sure how they're doing this. They might just be using a voltage divider with some resistors and using that to set a particular base current and get the 12 volts or whatever they want. I haven't sort of analysed the circuit at the moment, and again it's laid out in a kind of slightly confusing way, like especially the positions of these resistors, but this one is much simpler obviously, and is much easier to modify, but I'm sure this one can be modified relatively easily as well. I saw someone showing to put a resistor in parallel with this thermostat, and so I think that's might be the simplest way of modifying that one. To do the same sort of thing, but I haven't gone into that, and I'm not doing that right now. But anyway, that's the theory of how the circuit should work and how you could modify it, and now I'll switch back to the workbench and we can actually have a look in practice. You see how this works. So I've got a multimeter here showing the voltage across the fan, and at the moment the power supply is off and it's showing 1.1 volts. This is just from residual charge in the main filter cap down here. What I've done is I've taken one of the wires off the thermal cutout and added another Zener as I showed in the schematic just there. And we've got this one here as a 10 volt. I didn't have any 9 volts, but a 10 volt is what I had, so I put that on. And if I turn the supply on, we can see that the fan turns on. We've got 8.5 volts across the fan, which is actually pretty good. So that's just above the minimum voltage, and this is actually like pretty much exactly what I want, you know. We don't want it too low because then it might fail to start, but we don't want it too high so that the fan is really noisy and at full speed. We want it to be kind of like at the minimum voltage that it needs to run at, and so I think 8.6 is pretty good. Yeah, I could put a slightly lower voltage Zener here and get that voltage right down to 8 volts, but I don't think it's necessary. The thing is still blowing decently, and this will definitely provide some cooling at low loads. Now, if I take the Zener out of circuit by disconnecting this, I don't know if you can actually hear the sound, but the fan definitely speeds up, definitely goes a lot louder, and now we have 13.5 volts across the fan, which is a little bit higher than I'd expect, but you know, that's what we've got. Now, if I put the Zener back in circuit, the voltage quickly drops back to 8.5 and the fan becomes much quieter, which is very nice. However, of course, having the full speed is good when the thing is under heavy load and you want all that cooling, but to have it at that high speed all the time would be quite annoying. Now if we go back to the fan datasheet, we do see that its voltage range is 8 to 13.8 volts, so it's getting 13.6. That's okay, that's within its expected working range, so we're not going to blow it up by giving it this higher voltage of 13.5, 13.6 or so. It's definitely within the specifications. It is kind of on the high end, and it does make me wonder what voltage they're actually using. Looking at the schematic here, you know, this says 13 volts, or maybe it's actually 15. I'm not entirely certain what the actual voltage drop across the transistor is. Now, it is a Darlington, so I assume that the voltage drop is slightly different to a standard single transistor. It may be higher, and of course, under load, it's going to be higher than at a low current. I mean, this thing is drawing... the fan is drawing about 180 milliamps, so it's not a small amount. So yeah, the voltage drop is probably higher, and that's probably why we get 8.6 or the 10 volt. And this could well be a 15 volt, and we're getting 13.6. But if I was to drop this to a 13 volt Zener instead of a 15, which is what I assume it is, then I could probably get a much more sensible voltage and probably a longer lifetime of the fan. So I may do that, perhaps. Not sure yet, but definitely I will be doing the modification by adding this in series with a thermal cutout. And like I said, it's very simple. We just add it in series like that. 1N4740, I think. It's a 1 watt 10 volt diode. Oh yeah, just out of interest, I'm measuring the voltage across the transistor with the fan running, and yeah, it's about 1.14 volts, so it's definitely higher than the 0.7. I don't know if that's because of the Darlington or because it's actually under load. The voltage drop will increase with extra current, so but yeah, so the voltage is like that. So if we were getting 13.6 across the fan, add 1 volt, that's 14.6, add another 2, that's 14.8, so very close to 15. So yeah, I suspect that the Zener here is actually a 15 volt Zener, and it's not a 13. And I think they've chosen that because with the drop across the transistor, you actually get a voltage that's just under the maximum rating of the fan, and you get the max airflow and everything. I'll leave it in for now, because to replace that is going to be really annoying, so you have to go in the back here and take the little board off the bottom of the case and change the Zener diode on it, because that's where that 15 volt one is, and yeah, it's a pain to get that out and put it back, so I won't do that right now. I don't even know if I have any 13 volt or so Zeners anyway, so I'll leave it as is. The voltage is within spec for the fan, so it's not going to ruin it or anything, but I might change that later. However, the main purpose of this was just to give it the extra speed control with the other Zener, to have it able to run at a lower speed all the time, except for when the thing kicks in and it goes to the high speed. Alright, and there we go. We've got the Zener wired in series with the cutout here. The cutout is bolted to the heatsink, and I just labelled the wires ground and plus to denote which way around the current was flowing. Because obviously with this cutout in the cold position and the off position, it'll be shorted out, and you can't tell which wire is which by a continuity test because they're both shorted to each other. So you have to desolder one and then trace that back. So it could be assumed, if you have a power supply like this, that this terminal here is connected to the ground wire, but it may not be. There's no guarantee of that because this is non-polarized. It doesn't matter which way around this cutout goes, it doesn't matter which way around these wires go, at least if you're not modifying it. So from the factory, don't assume that the polarity of this or the polarity of these wires is the same as mine. Make sure you test it first, because it could be the other way. There's no telling unless you check for sure. So yeah, but anyway, I've got that new diode there added in, just what I had before on the test, but now it's permanently attached. I can now use the power supply with the fan running at a low speed all the time, and it'll kick into the higher speed when this clicks on. So now that I'm looking at the underside of this, I can actually see the date codes of these transistors again. I don't think the camera picks them up. It's an MJ 1503 Made in Mexico, BM0243, so that kind of implies a date code of 2002. And we've got a tip 31 on that board there that powers the relay, and that's got a date code of, looks like M4X227, which is also kind of confusing, but we're seeing a lot of 2s in these codes, so it is quite possible that it's 2002. It definitely wouldn't be 2022 because that's long after the Dick Smith brand has been retired and bought out by a different company, and they don't make anything like this in their own house brand anymore. So there's no way this is from 2022, but it could well be from 2002. So yeah, and the date code on this was also confusing. It's C240. The C could stand for 2000, so 40th week of 2002, and if these say 0243, then yeah, it could make sense that these are all from 2002. I tested the capacitors that I pulled out for ESR and capacitance, and they all test okay, so there was nothing actually wrong with these, but I figured for reliability we might as well have replaced them anyway, so I did. But yeah, I couldn't find any sort of decoding thing for the date code on this. I looked in the data sheet, I tried to find out, but there was nothing there, so I can only guess that this is 2002, given the codes on the other parts, but there's nothing sort of definitive. So there we go, time to switch it back on again and check the modification was working. And it is. The fan is spinning and it's going at the lower speed. It's not too noisy and it's not too fast, but it will provide some cooling function in general. And if this heatsink ever does get up to 60 or 80 or whatever degrees that this cutout operates at, then it will kick into the higher speed at getting the 13.4 volts. That's working how I would like it to work. And the modification is complete. So if you have one of these power supplies and you'd like to do a similar modification to it, it's very simple. You just have to add that extra Zener diode in series with the cutout. And once again, here's the schematic for that. So this shows the idea. You just have to add this diode here. You could add it on this side. It doesn't really matter which side you add it on, as long as it's run the right way, as long as you have the anode to the ground and the cathode towards the resistor here. And it should work just fine. So the only thing really left to do with this is to finally put the case on, and it's usable how I want it. And yeah, I've still got this silly knob because I've still got that silly pot, and I will have to revisit this at some point to replace that and have that all sensible again. But for now, it is functional and it's usable, and it's got some better cooling in it. The only thing left is to actually put the case back on and screw it all back together. We've got all the screws here. Maybe you can see them. There's some of them. That's not all of them, but we have them. There's the rest. This one actually had all the screws come with it instead of the other one where half of them were missing. And hopefully if you want to modify one of these power supplies like that, or a similar circuit, fan control circuit, or even put a fan control circuit in something that doesn't have a circuit, you could use this and you can modify it and choose different Zener voltages, and depending on the voltage of your fan and what you want to run at. So yeah, definitely a lot of possibilities there. So hopefully that was interesting, hopefully that was useful, and I'll see you next time.